Captain's report, February 4th, 2531. 5 years. 5 long years. That's how long it took us to get Harvest back.
Go, go, go!
After shooting your way through scores of the Covenant and Flood in Halo Combat Evolved, Halo 2 and Halo 3, the story for humanity's epic fight for survival continues with Halo War's real-time strategy setting, which takes place 20 years before the events in Halo. The single-player campaign focuses on the United Nations Space Command, and you'll lead all of the forces under the control of Captain James Cutter, who serves as the chief commander on board the UNSC's Spirit of Fire spaceship. The story is elaborate and covers the race to discover a superweapon which could spell the end for humanity, presented through a series of well-crafted cinematic cutscenes.
This world shall be the birthplace for an invasion fleet beyond imagining. Enough to crush the humans quickly and with ease.
While Halo's main protagonist, Master Chief, sits this one out, the other Spartans who lead into battle fight on just as valiantly. Halo War's gameplay and control mechanics are easy to get to grips with, but unfortunately that's because they're pretty basic. You'll start out collecting supplies and building structures, which in turn allows you to assemble vehicles and train troops. The control system allows you to select your forces in a number of ways, grouping all units, local units, or all units of a specific type, but you can't create any custom-made groups. You also can't set up waypoints to direct your forces or create separate rallying points for different unit types. In addition to these limitations, you have to move your cursor over a building before you can bring up its build menu, which disrupts the flow of play. You're aided in battle by some pretty impressive units, and unleashing some of the most powerful and iconic Halo weapons on the battlefield is incredibly satisfying. These include the UNSC's genetically enhanced Spartans, Scorpion tanks, and the new Vulture airship. You can't play the main game as the Covenant, but they're available in skirmish and multiplayer matches, complete with energy sword equipped elites, Wraith battle tanks, and the all-powerful Scarabs. Unfortunately, despite making an appearance in all of the Halo games to date, the Flood aren't a playable faction in the game, although you will fight against them in the campaign. Halo War's gameplay can be a bit slow moving when you first begin a mission. You'll need to build plenty of UNSC supply pads or Covenant warehouses before you can amass a significant force to take into battle. Each base also has a limited number of building sites, so you will need to juggle your resource producing structures with sites that grant you access to infantry, vehicles and aircraft. You can also make special upgrades such as an increased population cap or faster training times. Both sides' bases work in the same way, although the Covenant can build shield generators and gravity lifts to teleport units around. The single-player campaign mode offers a varied range of mission types that include escorts, recapturing lost bases, defending while waiting for rescue, and building your forces for an all-out assault. And one of the best experiences is when you have to repel the Covenant and Flood from the Spirit of Fire's top deck.
Forge, get out there and get those things off my ship.
Despite this, Halo War's campaign has some significant problems. The AI is just too easy to beat, the missions are short, and there are only 15 in total, meaning that most will plough through it in only a few hours. If you do need some additional help, you can call in a friend for cooperative play. You have to share the same amount of resources with your buddy, but the shared management adds to the fun and also makes it a little bit easier to manage. You can also go back to unlock extra achievement points and find hidden skulls on the battlefield, which add extra variety to the gameplay, but other than this, there's not a lot of reasons to return after completion. The game's multiplayer mode offers a bit more long-term value, with 14 maps of different sizes to suit between 2 and 6 players. Unfortunately, only basic skirmish and deathmatch game types have been included in multiplayer, and the maximum number of sides is limited to just 2. Of the 2 modes, deathmatch mode is more suited to quick matches, as it gives you advanced upgrades and significant resources from the beginning.
Mac rounds depleted.
All units.
Hard starboard!
Halo Wars can sometimes look visually stunning, but at other times bland and boring. The pre-rendered cutscenes, units, structures and environments look great, and zooming into a base's intricate moving parts shows off the level of detail. On the flip side, some of the textures and environments look both bland and rough, and you may experience some frame rate issues when there's a big battle taking place on screen. Accompanying the visuals is a sweeping orchestral soundtrack that complements Halo War's epic storyline. Inspired by the franchise's previous games, the music goes a long way to immerse you in the experience. The sound effects are also top notch and will all bring back fond memories for those familiar with the series.
LZ doesn't look so good. Spirit, we're gonna need backup.
While Halo Wars is undeniably fun to play, the short one-sided campaign mode, lack of playable races, limited variety in multiplayer, and clunky management tools mean that will ultimately disappoint seasoned strategists. If you're a fan of the Halo universe or a strategy novice, then it has something to offer, but it isn't nearly deep or comprehensive enough for experienced strategy fans.